What's good, good people? Welcome to hashtag My Be More Project. What's the 410? Where we stand in the gap of the news you can use and the positive stories your spirits need. I'm your host, Dion Joyner Weems. It's like a tribe called Quest. You have to say it all together. And though I do wear many hats, they all sit on top of the same mission to uplift, amplify, and empower truth tellers and change makers. Whether that's through hashtag My Be More Project, my book, That Part, What Some Know But Won't Tell You About Motherhood, or as the CEO of Audacity Group, we tell bold stories of impact. And in 2022, we found out what you and I already know. People trust people more than they do a system. That's why we center the voices of the people on the ground doing the work, like CEO Micky Wolf of Dent Education, alongside fellow Denter Arondae Morning. Let's bring them up. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, so now I've got all of my group here. Micky, Arondae, before we jump into the interview questions, we have this. It's not a bio, it's like a verbal flowers that we would like to present to you. Are you ready? I'm gonna read it. Dent Education is a movement where Baltimore youth like Arondae Morning reimagine what's possible. Since 2017, Dent has invited students into paid innovation programs that blend design thinking, entrepreneurship, and making. Through efforts like Bet on Baltimore and year-round projects, students, aka Denters, gain tools, mentorship, and the confidence to turn creativity into real impact. Micky Wolf, CEO, joined early to guide programs and now stewards the mission with a focus on equity and joy. His charge: make Baltimore the youth innovation capital of the world. Because the Dent community of youth, mentors, and partners prove time and time again that the proof is and will always be in its people. How's that sound to you?
Sounds like the truth. Sounds like what we're trying to do over here.
All right. Okay. Now, before we talk, there's a little segment that we love to give people a taste of the personalities behind the profession. And we call this segment They Ate. Okay. We're going to ask you 8 random questions. And I'm going to kick it off with Micky first, and then Micky. Don't overthink it. Just answer it how you feel. Okay, you ready?
Like an improv game.
All right. Micky, you up first. Crab cake, fried or broiled?
Ooh, I'm gotta go fried.
Arondae, Baltimore classic snowball flavor of choice. What you going with? What's your snowball flavor?
Egg custard.
Come on. Sorry.
That's a Baltimore classic right there.
With marshmallow on top and in the middle.
Yeah.
Micky, nickname your friends or family used to call you.
Ooh, one that came to mind was Slick Mick. I don't know. You told me to go for it. You know, I've also had yeah.
All right, we'll keep it going. Arondae, name one song on your get pumped, amp, fired up playlist when you need to get what you listening to.
Oh, that's a hard question. I would say right now anything. I would say probably be
going through a catalog.
Yeah, like I listen to a lot of music.
Love it. Well, I'll switch it up. Name your favorite genre of music.
R&B, soul.
R&B, soul.
Yes.
Boom. Micky, would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
Okay, so I actually was at a friend's birthday recently, and everybody voted that I would be like the first person dead if there was like a horror movie going on. I fully disagree with that. I think I'd collaborate and we'd survive, but people are really throwing me under the bus, I gotta say.
All right, so you're gonna go with you can, but don't ask your friends, right?
Don't ask my friends, exactly.
Gotcha. All right, I want to hear about work style, Arondae. Like when something happens, is it brainstorm first, or do you jump straight in to the problem? What's your style?
I feel like it depends, but most of the time I aim for what's the problem so I can figure out a solution to it.
Amen. I
Yeah.
like it. Micky, what's the one word that keeps you moving on a tough day?
Ooh, relationships, people.
Yeah, that's really good. Arondae, last question. If you had 25 hours in a day, what would you
Mm.
do with that extra hour?
I'm not gonna lie, I would probably just decompress, like read, listen to music, do art, like I don't know, like I would just do that, decompress, because it'd be a long day.
And let me tell you, people, they ate. They ate. You see how quick it was? How quick it was. All right.
We
With
rolled.
that, I'm going to jump right into this conversation. Micky, you said Baltimore has the potential to be the youth innovation capital of the world. What would it look like for our city to truly live in that vision? And what steps are most urgent right now?
Yeah, I think, well, one, I think, we call it the youth innovation capital of the world in part because we already see so much of those ingredients going on today. Like I think that the work that we've got, Dent is one of many creative youth innovation organizations in the city that are working with young people in ways that are authentic to youth voice, in ways that young people are learning these skills needed to build a more kind of equitable future, a future that where they are the leaders of the innovation ecosystem. We also have got a lot of values aligned partners in government, in the employing, kind of innovation ecosystem space on that end. And then we also have, most importantly, a lot of creative, resilient young people in our city who are those entrepreneurs, are those designers, are those technologists and engineers that are really building that future. So I think for it to really happen and to shift is, for one, that internal mindset to shift. Like we want young people in Baltimore City to think, I'm growing up in a city that's full of youth innovators. And like, I am one of those people. And, I think some of our young people do really see the potential of our city. And for far too long, people were defining success of, to be successful in Baltimore, you got to leave Baltimore. And, we don't want that to be the answer. We wanted to, see that potential here. And then I also think it's storytelling. It's how do we get that narrative of people both in and outside the city to, like, when they think Baltimore young people, they think innovators, they think entrepreneurs, because there's far too many haters on the outside trying to tell us what Baltimore is all about. And we know that that's really not the case. And so I think that those stories, things like what's the 410 are doing is really essential to that work.
Well said. I want to ask you, Arondae, when you listen to Micky and you being a part of this program, what do you believe young people have to do or could do or should do to hold Baltimore accountable to living up to this vision?
First I would say separating themselves from any negativity. Like, even I know it's very hard for like people that's like grow up in like family dynamics where it's like very toxic, and like you're like literally learning and understanding things that they are teaching you. But I feel like just separating yourself, like getting to know yourself individually from the society that you're in,
Mm,
and then moving forward to actually wanting to do better for yourself, wanting to connect with people that are like you or that will like push you to, be motivated, like, do things. I feel like it all starts in the society that we come from, and believing that we can change from that society. Like, I don't know, like I feel like it all has to start with you, like
mm,
learning yourself.
mhm.
Once you learn yourself, then you can like try to find other people like you. Once you find other people like you, that's something that I had to learn. Like, didn't help me find other people like me, which makes me more connected to what I want to do, what I believe in, and how I feel like I should go on about my future, because I have these people around me guiding me and motivating me to do better.
One, amen. And for anyone that's listening, the secret sauce I've been around Dent enough to know that that Dent mindset, that's not just a buzzword. And Arondae, I'll go back to Micky, but the way that you were just flowing, you can tell just by the way you're speaking to this, there has been an internal mindset shift and work. Can you share with us what is the Dent mindset, and what is, how does that secret sauce work for youth once they engage with it?
Yes. So the Dent mindset is they teach, well, when you're in Dent and you're just like fresh and you're new to it, they teach you I think it's like 6 or 7 different mindsets. And they just basically walk you through steps that will not only help you with like work relationships, but relationships within your community. And
Mm-hmm.
so one that I use a lot and that I took on first when I first entered Dent was we listen deeply, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I took that in as I listen to the people around me. I listen to the community that's within where I live. So me taking that and then also having the skills and the knowledge from Dent, by pushing that we listen deeply through not just what I'm working on at work but also in my community. Like I really just like took that. So literally they literally teach you how to use these mindsets not just in a work um just not in a workplace, but also
Mm-hmm.
like your community, like
Your life.
relationships at home. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like a life-changing thing. And that's something that I had to realize. I think I realized in my second year how impactful it was just by like my internal understanding of being in this program.
Whew. Micky, can you go further with the Dent mindset for those who are just being introduced to Dent education? And Arondae did a great job of showing what it looks like on you, but what does that look like on the ground?
Yeah, no, it was amazing to hear you share, Arondae. And yeah, the Dent mindsets are really they're kind of rooted, I would say, in the human-centered creative problem-solving process of design thinking. And they, kind of stand independently, but they also, kind of flow together in a way that they could be step by step, but it could just be each mindset in and of itself. These are things like we see problems as opportunities, we ask why, we listen deeply, as Arondae talked about. We take action. We fail fast and keep learning. And then we start with we. And each of those mindsets resonate with different people in different ways. Like I see how, so much of our young people's school environment teaches that like failure is to be avoided at all costs. No one wants to fail. No one wants to try something new because they don't want to fail. And at Dent, we create this environment where young people are putting themselves out there, where they're, going to pop-up shops, they're selling their products, they've, talking to strangers about this is what I'm passionate about, this is what I'm doing. And that's a scary experience. And, that's an experience that pushes young people outside their comfort zone. And, but, I think that these mindsets, like if we're going to solve the problems, I love what Arondae said about how it starts with yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you want to change the world, start by changing yourself. And I think that that's key to what we're doing at Dent. And, we want, these Dent mindsets are, in many ways, entrepreneurial mindsets also, like for the entrepreneurs that are in the audience, like, that so much of entrepreneurship is seeing problems as opportunities. It's like you find that some problems out there, you're going to be involved with solving it. And then you can't just be talking about the problem. You got
No.
to find that root cause. You got to take action. You got to listen to the people around you. And then you got to fail fast, iterate, change things up. And it's all collaborative. It's all about community throughout the way. So, yeah, that's kind of the core of what the mindsets are all about.
Arondae, based on those mindsets, can you give an example or a time or a moment where you realized just how much your voice really mattered? Like this thing of, yeah, people talk about it, but it was that moment when you realized that your idea or contribution actually changed the direction of a project or inspired others.
Um, yes. Okay, so last year I did the spring, fall and the spring semester. And the spring semester we had basically focused on one problem in the community that we wanted to change. And so mine was to make a clothing brand based around changing stereotypes and for black people. Because stereotypes is a really big thing. Like, that's what we're kind of known for. So I wanted to like make a clothing brand. It's called Cliche Conformity, and it's basically, just it's basically
It's the
just
name for me, babe. I'm a brand marketer. It's the name for me. Keep flowing. What's the name again? One more time. Cliche.
yeah. So Cliche Conformity.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I base it around like stereotypes being pushed towards black people, and how I want to motivate them with my clothing brand that you're more than just those stereotypes and what people think you are, and you can do things with your life. Like, you don't have to stick to these stereotypes and make and like you use these stereotypes to motivate yourself, to put yourself out there. You don't have to stick to these things and just keep doing it, or having these negative mindsets and um communities around you. Like, you can do better. So that's learning that, like learning my passion for like making my community better really pushed me to understand, like, oh, this is more than just us learning about business work, or us learning about our community. Like, this is us to shift our community and to actually get out there and wanting to make it better. And having my first interview about cliche conformity really like pushed me to actually go forward and like keep being with Dent, keep
Mm-hmm.
actually go separately from Dent and work on my clothing brand and get it out there, because I do want to motivate people to actually think like this and to, take things with them as they go. Cause like,
Mm-hmm.
I want like cliche conformity. I feel like that's something that can stick with people.
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing about my name, but I don't know. I just feel like people should be motivated and just push themselves.
Arondae, I'm sitting back. First of all, for those that do not know, I'm not just trying to put all of her business in the street, but to understand this is a 17-year-old young woman here in the city of Baltimore. And to hear her speak, one, I'm already inspired. And it begs the question, Micky, and thinking about your role as a CEO, I'm curious of how much the students' voices have shaped your leadership and your approach. Could you could you share?
Yeah, no, I feel really just so fortunate to, in my 7 years at Dent, which I've been CEO for the last 2.5 years, but for a long time, like I was launching programs, I was, building relationships, I was organizing trips, and really like to be around young people who like learn and grow and change is really inspiring for me. And youth voice plays such a big role in what we do at Dent in a whole kind of wide range of things. Some things that I'll note is like one, our commitment to youth from age 14 to 24. Part of
Mm-hmm.
that came because, I was seeing our young people who were graduating, they were like total rock stars at Dent in high school. And life post high school comes with real challenges. There's, if you're going down a college path, the cost of college or being in a new learning environment is a real substantial undertaking. If you're, kind of going into a place like, Maryland service here, like finding your voice and like what kind of, relationships, the social capital. So, I think that seeing some of our students post high school with those challenges is part of
Mm-hmm.
what influenced that part of Dent's strategy. And then also just in terms of how we shape programming. So, our Bet on Baltimore summer internship, like last year, we have a program we run called Denternship, where students intern at a partner organization, and we had students intern with Dent internally so that they could kind of shape, what does Bet on Baltimore look like next
Oh,
year? How do we want to change it? How do we
yeah,
want to shape it?
yeah.
And then the final thing I'll just note, which we might talk about a little bit later, but we're integrating these industry recognized credentials into our programming with this next gen innovators programs. And part of how we're selecting even what are the industry recognized credentials we're offering is based on what are youth really excited to learn. And so this first one we're doing is Adobe content creation and marketing. And that's because, we know young people want to be influencers. They want to use their voice in a way that makes a positive difference. So yeah.
It was how Arondae's eyes just, both of our eyes beamed, mine beamed as a marker, her knowing as a storyteller of how that works. But to that, I wrote this down. So and correct me, please. The blueprint for Maryland's future calls for 45% of students to graduate with industry recognized credentials. So go deeper on that, Micky. How is Dent preparing you to meet that benchmark in a way that isn't just, ticking off a box or passing people through? Like, what actually creates like these long-term opportunities?
Yeah. So, and Arondae is actually in this first content
Oh,
creation track that we're launching. So I'm excited for her to share more of the experience on the ground.
great.
But basically, like we've saw this goal, and if for people that are in the education space or in the youth innovation space, you've seen that more and more people are trying to align workforce development needs with the education ecosystem. People are questioning pathways to college and thinking about other ways that we can prepare young people for the future. And I think that's where that blueprint goal came from. And Dent, as we've started to integrate these credentials into our work, we thought about how do we make the things that make Dent space so special, the Dent mindsets, that real world learning, that entrepreneurship, and also combine it with these credentials that are really meant to prepare young people for those kind of career paths. And so like I was at a Per Scholas state of learning or state of hiring in Baltimore conference last week. And like one of the things that really stuck out to me is like, it can't just be the credential. It also needs to be young people having critical thinking
Yeah.
skills, which we kind of think of as like the design thinking,
Yep.
Dent mindsets that they're learning. And it also needs to be real world experience of applying those skills, which is part of that Denternship, kind of immersive work experience, kind of internship with a partner organization that we also offer. And so that's kind of been it's been a process over the last 2 years. Like we're just starting to like really have these programs launch in full form. We've got some work study partnerships with schools at ACE and Forest Park High School, and Dent, like we're taking what we have done historically and really kind of integrating these credentials while still keeping the core of our programming intact, because we know that we want to prepare young people for future. We want them to have these skills that are validated in a way that's not just Dent, but like Adobe is obviously a huge recognized name, or Google UX design is a future certificate we're going to offer, and preparing them for those skills, but also that wraparound experience that they get at Dent too.
So that's deep. And Arondae, in seeing that you are a part of this vision, how have these credentials, or how do you see this shaping your life for after high school, or for your future? How does that look for
Um,
you?
well, when I found out about it, I was like very excited because one, I loved it. Like I've been here for 3 years now. And then two, it was like I can actually do this with them and like actually learn and like have this so I can show people what I have done and what I have been working on. So it's like I'm just adding on to my goal because I'm not gonna lie, I do a lot. I'm into a lot, I do a lot. So it's just
Yeah.
like a part of my like business sis. A part of my business is I wanna
Plural.
work
Well,
I want to work on like content creation and marketing that will go wonderful hand in hand with my businesses just because it just goes together well. Like I can be my own marketer, I can be my own content creator, and I can just build on these skills while also still doing what Dent taught me, which was have my business of my own, knowing how to use certain things and work with certain people and networking, like things like this. I'm literally learning from Dent, and I can do it throughout the summer. I can do it throughout the year. Like it's just like something. It's like a hobby now. Like I don't know. It's like a
no, this is
hobby. Like
good.
I just really enjoy it.
Well, it's beautiful. One, I want to thank you. I thanked you before the call, and I'm sure Micky can agree. You have these organizations that can, on paper, speak to their mission, but can the people whose lives they impact, can they? And to have you a part of this
Mm.
conversation shows the proof is really in the people. Micky, I wanted to think about your strategic plan, because I know that you have this vision, that a 2025, 2027 strategic plan. What's the boldest goal in your plan, and what role do you want Baltimore to play in making that happen?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting even as the plan developed because I think we have some things in the plan, and then I'm like, as we've gotten into the work, I'm like, oh, there could be even more bold, kind of aspirations that we would set. But I'll hold off on those for now, and I'll say, I mean, just even reflection of the plan is we want to support 4% of Baltimore City Public Schools goals each year for these industry recognized credential graduates, which would basically be 72 students graduating from Dent's programs each year with industry recognized credentials, kind of balancing that, what feels realistic, but what also feels like kind of bold. And, I think the way that, Baltimore can really kind of contribute and help is, if you're an employer in the ecosystem, come work with our young people. We've got Denternship, which is our program where students will intern, bringing these skills to add real value to your organization. And, we're not looking for you to do charity and contribute to our young people that way. Our young people are going to add real value to your business. They're going to add value to the work that you're doing. They're going to add value to the stories that you're telling or how they might apply design thinking to solve real challenges you face. We also have Made It Dent, where you can hire our student entrepreneurs and innovators to create custom products, gifts, swag, and awards for you. So, we've partnered with Urban Cipher, which we 3D printed game pieces for their board game. Or this is the Black Butterfly Dream Labs board game, or called Urban Cipher. Dr. Lawrence Brown. We've partnered with Baltimore Homecoming to create these custom awards for their big event that they just hosted. The Be More Me conference. We collaborate with them to create custom products for their student run conference each year. So I think those are great ways people can kind of contribute to help with our work. It's a change in landscape out here in the nonprofit environment. We want to have about 25% of our revenue in the future come from earned revenue. And that means adding real value and working with young people to add real value to our partner organizations as well. So I'll share those for now. And, hopefully in the next 6 months or so, some other parts of the partnerships we have working are going to launch, and people can really see some of the boldest of the aspirations.
You know what? One, I'm excited, and I have multiple questions, but I'm trying to be succinct, and it's for both of you, right? When you start thinking, y'all have a vision. That's one of the things I respect most about Dent Education is that there is literally a plan in place. You're not just out here doing this. There's a North Star that you're heading towards. So in that framework, I would like to know from you, Micky, what does Dent look like in 5 years? And for you, Arondae, what do you look like within this after benefiting from this in 5 years? Can you give the listeners that journey, what that looks like? And I'll go.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ronnie. What do you look like as a part of this in 5 years, being a part of the strategic plan, the credentials, the networking? What are we seeing?
Um,
And I know you
I
do a
think
lot.
what I'm seeing is like having yeah, I feel like having like stable enough businesses where I'm actually um getting profit and having like and also getting out things, because that's my biggest thing. It's hard to actually promote and then get things out. And I will also say I do want to go to college, so I want to be doing these things while I'm in college. Um as a hobby, of course, like I know I have to prioritize certain things, but I'm also good at prioritizing and working around certain things that, is like a challenge for me, or it's very like it's stuck. I do want to keep working with Dent. This is my last year of high school, so it's gonna be a little hard, but I do want to keep working with Dent, of course. And when I'm done college, I do want to come back as a coach, maybe a coach. Because I just want to make the community better. Like I want to like teach youth that it's okay, like it's like Baltimore is okay, like you are okay in this environment and you can make it better by being here with Dent. Like Dent literally teaches us how to coexist and also make our environment better. Like we don't just stay in one spot, we also move it, so you can be here in this environment without feeling in danger or feeling like you can't do anything, because everything, or feeling like you can't have the motivation to move or speak, or have your own business or work with people to actually get what you want out. So I just want to like build onto that. Like I want to add to that.
I'm about to cry, and I need a moment, and I know Micky, you're about to jump in. It's just the fact that it's the comeback. It's the fact that literally we know what it requires to put this work in. You're investing in these young people, and then they take that and they leave and they look at Baltimore as their stepping stone. And that breaks my heart, because it really is, it's your launching pad. And to be able to come back and bring others with you. So Arondae, I just want to say, it's for the people on the ground doing the work, you can't understand how it softens the heart to hear a young person say, "Oh, I'm not leaving you." And me leaving is to actually gain and come back, to gain and come back. And so I just couldn't let that. Thank you. Micky, 5 years. I'm sorry, Micky,
Yeah.
but you know,
No. Oh, for sure. I mean, Arondae, that answer, it was beautiful. I love what you said, that it's, it's not well, you said something that was like, it's not just you're a part of it. Like, you're actually moving it. Like, our
moving.
young
You're not
people in the
still or
city.
stuck. You're moving. Yes.
100%. I love that. I love that. Yeah. I mean, the vision that, to your point, the strategic plan, like, the vision that, that process after talking to 60 of our, stakeholders, students, parents, partners, staff, we kind of, we really settled in on this vision to catalyze youth to become leaders of a racially just and thriving innovation ecosystem in Baltimore. And, we think about that future 5 years from now, like, I imagine, we're going to have, more and more denters who are working with partners in the innovation ecosystem. There's, Josh, who, left Dent and, kind of through Dent met Paris, and now he works at Sparran and, Sparran Homes and Advisory, and, has built these relationships. And there's, students that have kind of gone on that journey. And, when I think about our young people in Baltimore, I see them, having both these AI empowered skills, but also really human centered skills, designer skills, the things that AI can never replace: our imagination, our creativity, our ability to collaborate with each other, our ability to understand problems in our community and really focus in on those. And, I really see more and more of our employer partners hiring former denters. What Arondae said, denters coming back as coaches.
Let me tell you, and for this to be our tech innovation conversation, we have had so many, which is perfect because we're all troubleshooters. So I'm going to send, let me see. I'm just going to call Micky. There she is. Okay. Okay. He's already jumped off, so he's probably going to come back on. Micky. Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear Micky. I can't hear.
But you can't hear me.
You can't hear Dion?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
That's the thing with life. You can't avoid fucking problems. Are
We're
you there?
good. Yes.
So, like, real talk. Let's for a moment. We're about to wrap up. But Arondae, what I love here, like we were joking, we're talking tech focus, and we've had the most technical difficulties. But one thing that's different is the attitude. There has not been discouragement. There hasn't been give up. There hasn't been walk away. And you and I, we all know life is going, if there's one thing you can bet life's going to do is throw you some fucking curveballs. So how are you able to show up? Yeah. So that mindset is real here. So this isn't fake. So when these bloopers come, even in our mistakes, masterpieces. What? All right. So on that, but I wanted to make sure, and I do believe, Micky, I want to pick up where you left off if there was anything, but you were pretty succinct there. Yeah. Do you feel comfortable?
I feel good. I feel good. I mean, the last thing I think I was just trying to say is like the long-term vision of Dent, which I don't know if it happens in 5 years, 10 years, when it happens, but like, I'm not going to be the CEO of Dent for forever. That's going to be intentional. Like, we are going to, continue to promote leadership that reflects the lived experiences of our young people, and eventually have a leader of Dent who's a former student of Dent. So I don't know if that's 5 years from now, but that's definitely in the long term. And doesn't mean I don't have a lot to contribute. Doesn't mean that white folks in this work don't have a lot of work to do and value to add. But in the long run, we want a former Denter to be the ones leading our organization, and I have no doubt that that's going to be part of the future.
Well, I want to ask you, because you said it, and I reckon, and Arondae, you can co-sign for me, right?
Mhm.
I have worked in the social impact space, but I've been a marketer of Baltimore since I was 8 years old. And I have seen both sides. I have seen white leaders of organizations that most benefit the most underserved communities in Baltimore, which statistically are Black and brown children. But those leaders have used, and I use that word specifically, have used or pimped like poverty pain in order to keep their organizations going. It feels, when I've met you, Micky, you've been so intentional. And Arondae, you can co-sign from in your working. Would you agree? Like, there is a true intention for
Yes,
diversity, equity, and joy.
definitely, yes.
So I want to say I respect that. And I'm curious, and this isn't throwing shade, right? Because we are a social, like I've also looked at Baltimore is a city that you come to learn how to solve problems. So that means there's a lot of organizations that are great at this. I'm curious of, how do you find yourself different than other youth organizations? Not saying better. I'm just saying, how do you feel like, from both of your perspectives, Dent Education shows up differently?
Yeah, I mean, well, go for it. Arondae, you want to jump in there? You want me to share something?
You can go first.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, like, on the topic of also, kind of race and what those things, mean as a leader of the organization, that, to the point of what we were talking about earlier, that you got to start with changing yourself and then make that impact. Like that journey is a constant journey. It is the not ending journey. Like, showing up as a white ally leader in this space is something that, is constantly a part of that evolution process. It's, there are many mistakes I have made on that journey along the way. I'm sure others I'll make in the future. But I think it really goes to what you said about showing up with intentionality, showing up with authenticity to the work that we're doing. And I think at Dent, like, the things that, make us unique are, one, like, that relationships are really core and center to a lot of what we're doing. But two, like, in our approach to innovation, we really try to make it real world. We try to, put our young people out there in spaces that, so many young people will tell you, going into a pop-up shop, they're nervous. They don't want to do this. Why do we have to do this? Why are we, going out here? And then afterward, or after that showcase, they're like talking about how, grateful that they are to have that experience. And that was like where they had their own kind of aha, I can moment of inspiration and kind of power. And I think that to the point that you made earlier about, like, proof is in the people, and hopefully Arondae will come back here. Arondae, we lost you here. But
Arondae, you may
I would
need
definitely.
Arondae, your camera went black, so we can't
Oh
see you.
no. Okay.
Part of our work with the industry. Oh, Arondae, you're back.
Yep.
You're back.
I'm back.
You're back and better than ever.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll pass it to you
Okay.
in 1 sec, Arondae. But the point that I was just making, since we want you
Okay.
in the shot when I say it, is I think also something that makes Dent just unique as a culture and organization is the audacity to try. Is the audacity, like, we have a culture of young people fail fast and keep learning, and, like, in our programs we also do that. Like, these program models that we've developed over years, these kind of attempts to integrate credentials into our work, these attempts to integrate employer partners, like, it's a reflection of a willingness to, like, take a risk and to try something new and iterate along the way. So also an important piece of the puzzle.
What makes it different for you, Arondae?
Um, I think what makes it different is like it's very like goal driven. Like they have goals and like they're pushing it out to youth, not just through. They're not on like an organization mindset. Yes, they do a lot of organization work to make it happen for youth, but their main priority is the youth. So they
Mm.
use us and the skills that they want us to learn to push the organization while also pushing us in a aspect. And I really feel like that's what makes it more um like moving for me. Is that because is that connection, because they not only connect with us as like adults, as like teachers, but also like as we're like I'm a person just like you are a person. Like
Yeah.
they make it very comfortable. They make it very like they don't make it so strict. So like you
Mm-hmm.
have to do this, you have to do that. They make it comfortable. They also teach you how to network with people. They that's something that I really take away is networking with people.
Yep.
Yes. It's very different because I feel like a lot of programs that want to be successful, they don't really know how to connect with youth as much, and they don't know how to push the youth to actually like they don't know how to innovate the youth in the right ways. They think of it from a different standpoint of the actual youth community. And I also take like, even though I hate the survey forms, I love that they do consider our voices. They do consider they do consider our voices. They are long, but I love it because it gives us a standpoint
That's
of, oh,
real.
they really care. They really care.
But see, girl, I don't like doing
But yeah.
surveys either. And I'm like, but I know it's fact finding. It's fact finding.
That's a good point, Arondae.
Yeah.
We'll work to we'll take your feedback live on the air, and we'll work to cut it
There you
down.
go. Okay. What's the 410? Bringing forth solutions. So I want to ask this in closing. This is two part. Take it how you want to. I'll go with you, Micky. One, I want to understand, for anyone that's listening, I need a call to action for the people that have been listening and how they can support, like what's coming up, what can they engage in, and if you can both from give your perspective around it, make sure that you plug what you're working on too. Okay, go ahead, Micky. What's
Yeah. So, one, I would say reach out to us. Our email is hello@denteducation.org. I'll get that email. Our strategic partnerships manager, Iomide, who's awesome, will get that email too. We want to work with you in some sort of form or fashion. So if you want to hire Denterns in the spring, like this, content creation, next gen innovators, content creation track, we're going to be needing employer partners. If you want Made at Dent to create custom products for you, like let's work together for our young people to add value to your business. I will say also, if you're just someone who's like an individual, wants to find a way to contribute, giving us a follow at Dent Education on Instagram, or honestly donating always makes a difference. It's a hard time out there in that nonprofit space, and
mm-hmm.
$5 makes a difference. $10 makes a difference. Like whatever you can give, you can kind of find that donation link on our website. And then I just would say, like in general, like give young people a chance. Believe in them, invest in them. There are young people in your life, in your neighborhood, people that you maybe haven't really given two thoughts to, like see what they need. Go talk with them, build that relationship, because that's really what it's all about.
Perfect. Arondae, Miss Morning.
um I would say stay motivated. Don't think about the people around you. Think about yourself first because it all starts with you. You have to change for you to see change around you. Once you once you improve yourself and motivate yourself to do things, then the community around you will shift immediately because you're drawn to who you're becoming to be, not who you were. And I think that people should just stay motivated even if it's hard. Like life is hard, okay? It's
Oh,
hard, but
it's
stay
hard out here.
motivated. It is, just stay motivated. Have those people around you that motivate you, that support you. Find organizations or communities like Dent, like they will support you, they will be there. um it will help your life 100%, very impactful.
Wow.
um Follow my Instagram, cliche.conformity.
Yes.
There's things out right now, so and there'll be more coming soon. I'm just trying to push out more content, and if you want anything made, please,
Oh, I'm
come on.
already. I wrote you down, sweetheart. So we'll be talking after this. I want to say thank you to you both. I pray that you could feel the succinct intention and warmth and authenticity, regardless of any breaks or disconnections, because the heart was real. And you really have today proven a point that life is not seamless, but you can bring a seamless attitude of solution to it. And that's exactly what y'all have demonstrated today and every day in Baltimore. And I just wish you continued success. With that, this is hashtag my Be More. What's the 410? We out. Peace. And that's it.
I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. Even if it means you gotta leave me and you don't wanna be babe, look baby, I'm straight. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great.